when I am around someone who feels like they're like really like doing whatever, feels like they're living their purpose, it affects me in the way of, on the one hand, like kind of opening a window like into what is possible. Like, oh wow, like your friend is like building her dream of like living off grid in a community, and or like, oh wow, like this, yeah. So like it's like opening up a world of possibility, whether it's something that I like. It doesn't have to be something that I like want to actually join in on or to be a part of, but that, and then also like I think when you feel like you're living your purpose, there's a sense of joy and flow, or there's just some energy that radiates out, and it's like absorbed, or it passes through whoever's around you. And so I definitely have like felt that kind of infectious, like radiating joy and energy coming from people who are like feel like they're living their purpose. And so yeah, I guess that that would probably be true for me too.
My name is Zenka Caro. I'm founder of Lightnet, and my passion and purpose is to make the impossible possible. I'm here today with Sofia Suardi, actually my niece. But before I tell you about that, I want to talk about how we are getting down to the last 10 episodes of the 100-person research project quest that we were on with the Holomovement to really figure out once and for all what is the funnest, fastest, cheapest way to find our purpose. Because it's so fun once you do. It's this moment, it's this before and after. And it's really quite a process in doing it. We feel so proud to have put together this many episodes and this much research in terms of looking at the core patterns that underline this incredible human process. We are about to start the next 100 episodes, and it's going to be very interesting. I'm not going to tell you everything that's going to happen yet. We are going to be talking about it at Lisbon, at the Portugal Wave, right? This is where Holomovement gets all its favorite people together for a big party, conference, TED Talks, music, dinners, walks on the beach. It's absolutely inspiring to be with this many interesting geniuses that are researching consciousness, making music about all the things that could be. This is really the Renaissance. This is ground zero. And in fact, if you listen to Sofia's episode, they say that it all starts, the Fifth Kingdom all starts in Portugal. So I hope to see you at the end of May. Today's guest is Sofia Suardi. Like I said, she's my sister's eldest daughter of 5. And she, like me, also really likes to look at life and question things and almost question everything. And I think when I was in Colombia, I realized that the original tribes would tell us that all the animals had a role to play. And I guess that's the way it works. We're not all supposed to be teachers or monks or truck drivers. Like, there's all these different things that come into play. And I think living our unique pattern is so important. Sophia had a spiritual awakening or consciousness awakening when she was 16. And since then, she's really been looking at how this all works. And her latest conclusion is that we're here just to be. And again, that's what the Colombian original tribes told us. Be yourself, be happy, and just be you. Like, be nature. You are nature. So there's no need for so much pressure. Just allow it to flow. Check it out.
I discovered my purpose to be. It feels like it started around when I was 14, so 8th grade. I began to feel like there was something missing in my life. Like, I seemingly had everything, a loving family, great health. You know, I just happened to be of the constitution to do well in school, but my life kind of felt a bit like flat, and I began to wonder if I had ever known true happiness, and if I loved myself, if I knew myself. And so thus began a period of a lot of questions and reflecting, both internally and externally. So I was also asking, like, what makes a person a good person or a bad person, and where do these ideas good and evil come from, and like what is this all, like what is reality, what's real, what's not. And kind of made me realize that maybe there is no difference, maybe it's all just however you perceive it. And it's just getting to that point where you believe that, and if you believe that, then it is reality. Whatever you believe is reality. Most people, like me, like I used to think, are very kind of sort of goal-oriented and thing-oriented and sort of oriented on the outside world and on that reality. Do I really want to go to an Ivy League school? Is that going to make me happy? Or is it just, the idea of it and what society wants of me? So I think having peace with yourself helps you sort of judge your life more clearly and evaluate your motives and your path better. I didn't really come to like a solid answer. It kind of felt like I fell through a black hole in a way of like both nothingness and everythingness at the same time. And yeah, I guess that's how I came to just like, well, I don't know anything except that everything just is, and whatever I am, just am. And so yeah, I'm just exist, I'm here to be. And I don't think it's necessarily my purpose to enjoy being, but I do enjoy when I'm in the kind of energy state where I'm like, yeah, I'm just enjoying being, which I'm so grateful to be feeling that these days. And I have so much fun. I love to dance. That's like my favorite, probably my favorite thing to do. And actually, my favorite way of like anchoring me into the moment, kind of like a moving meditation. So using, rather than like sometimes I use my breath as an anchor even when I'm dancing, but like using the sounds, the beat, the physical sensations to, when I notice myself kind of like not feeling those things as much, or just like kind of thinking in a thought process, then I have the physical, like I love when like there's like a really powerful speaker and I can just feel the bass and I'm like, okay, that, and it's also like I I guess this connects to the other question of like what attracts me to the beingness. I love like daydreaming and letting my mind wander. And so, you know, even if I'm meditating, you know, in quotes, like whether it's sitting or dancing or whatever, I sometimes I'm putting more effort and energy into bringing focus and awareness, like, you know, the way you think of meditation being typically, but I'm often not really like forcing it so much. So I just like, I'm totally like, well, I don't know if I could say I'm totally okay with like, you know, the mind wandering and like, you know, when I feel kind of like whatever in my head when I'm dancing. But I do like, I really just, yeah, I appreciate that state a lot, like both the mind wandering and the like feeling like, oh, I'm really noticing what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And I do want to add, like, this is something that I've thought about. I wonder, like, if it takes me like a while to fall asleep often, like maybe an hour, 2 hours, even 3 hours is not unusual. And so I'm in this kind of like almost dreamlike, like day into night dreaming state for like, you know, that chunk of my day. And although it can be annoying at times when I'm really tired and I just want to sleep, like I also like, it's like, yeah, it's like one of my favorite states to be in. I guess just one thing that pops into mind is like that I enjoy daydreaming about is this beautiful time that I had at a club in Berlin. And yeah, it was like maybe the best day of my life. So that is something that I enjoy daydreaming about. I just felt so in flow, and I like met someone that I felt probably more connected to than I ever have anyone else before. And I, you know, usually when I go dancing, I would say like, I don't know about a majority of the time, but my eyes are often closed. I'm like in my own world. I'm not interacting with anyone really that much. And so it was unexpected, and it was really fun. It felt really good. There's a feeling of purpose. You know, there's on one level this like philosophical, like, it's just, you know, what is purpose? Like, is there, you know, whatever. But yeah, there is this feeling of like, I'm really like, feel like I'm doing like what like feels good, and like what I've, you know, I feel like I'm meant to be doing. And for me, I guess the biggest struggle has been depression, I guess. And I don't, I like to use like seasonal terms for, you know, my different energy states. So like, I went through about a 5-year winter, soon after my very existential, like period when I was about 15. And it was weird because, you know, while I was having all these like realizations, and, you know, it actually was like, I mean, there was actually a bit of a moment of like kind of an ego death of like feeling like the world like dropped beneath me, of like, oh my God. Like, I remember just sitting on the hill behind my house, and I had actually just watched Inception, and, you know, there's a quote that's like, an idea is like dangerous, or it can be dangerous. It can be like a seed. Maybe it doesn't say dangerous, but it can take root in your mind. And this idea in the movie of like, what if you're dreaming and you like wake up to like a more real reality, and how like you never know. And I was just kind of sitting there like looking at, you know, my hometown of DC, and like it was almost like the meaning was like drained out of everything. I was like, what it, like, you know, like, anyway, so there was that kind of moment of like feeling kind of like gross and scared about everything. Like, what if, you know, nothing means everything, and nothing means anything, and I don't know what anything is or whatever. But then it led to rebirth, and I was like, just like literally doing whatever I felt like doing. I felt like I was seeing the world through new eyes, because it was like, oh, well, if nothing, you know, if I don't know anything, then all there is this, and that's beautiful. Like, all there is this moment. So I had that like beautiful, like creative, high energy period. But then as high school went on, I started to lose interest in everything that I once loved doing, like photography, fashion, singing. I just like, yeah, I didn't really feel like doing anything, and I was confused. I was like, I don't know. I like, to this day, I don't know what the cause of the long depression was, or, you know, I think it's probably a combination of multiple things. Maybe the existential stuff did something. Maybe having birth control, like hormonal birth control inserted into my arm, was doing something. You know, maybe the food I was eating, maybe just having a tumultuous like high school time. But I think like I guess the scariest feeling for me, because I've been so blessed in life. Like, I really have not has not felt like I've had a lot of like pain and struggle put upon me. I have been given so many gifts. And so in a way, it's kind of like there has been I guess a feeling of guilt of like, what am I doing with these gifts, especially when I'm in a low energy period. Yeah, and the scariest feeling for me, I guess, has been like numbness, just like not feeling much, not doing much. And I did end up like, there did end up being a spring, and a summer, and then this year there was like another like shorter winter, and now I'm like maybe back in summer again. But yeah, I think like when I'm in like a low energy state, like I feel like a completely different person. Like, I would not have this like light in my eyes, and I would not, like, I just have no motivation to do anything. I think I even through that, like, I had a sense that it's okay. Like, it's really okay to like, and it took me, I think part of the reason why the 5-year winter dragged on so long was that for most of it, I was like, I didn't want to let myself like sink too deep into depression, because I was afraid of never coming out of it. When I finally did, and like I had the privilege of, you know, being able to quit my job, like serving, and just like do basically nothing in my grandpa's apartment in Milan, other than like be in my room and like scrolling and crying like all day. But yeah, I had this sense that like I needed to let myself go all the way in, like really feel the depression in order to let the cycle finish and be like ready to feel something different. And I did that this time as well. Like I did my own little darkness retreat in my room where I completely blacked out everything. So it was pitch black, and I stayed in there for 3 days and just reflected on the kind of chaotic, evil summer that I had. And yeah, like I sensed that I needed to forgive myself for just like on a deep level for some things, like forgive my inner child in order to feel like I could move on and like apologize. And yeah, I'm so grateful to be like feeling like I'm on the path to like doing things that feel like purpose, you know? The spring was, I'd like to describe it as like a slow defrosting from a long winter. And like, I literally, like, and I'm having this urge to like, I don't know, qualify or whatever you call it, when you're like, oh, you know, I haven't experienced like the worst kind of pain. But in the winter, I really didn't know if I would ever experience the feeling of excitement ever again, or like, I felt like I could be kind of content, but just, I thought maybe that I had traded passion for peace. And so the spring was feeling the feeling of excitement for the first time in years. And I was just like, oh my God, like really the winter made me so grateful for whenever, you know, I mean, not whenever, it's not like I'm constantly now in a state of gratitude for whenever I have the feeling of excitement or whenever I have the feeling of like having energy to do stuff. But like really, you know, when it started out, it was like, oh my God, like it doesn't feel like so hard to like send a text or like do my laundry or do the dishes, like just simple things. I was like, wow, like I have the energy to do this. And it doesn't, like depression really makes mountains out of molehills. Like a lot of my crying would just be like, oh my God, like I'm supposed to like text someone and like, I just like really, I really don't want to do that, you know, like, and it just feels so stupid when it's happening. And so there's a, you know, there would be a part of me that was like, oh my God, like people are like going through like actual, just really hard stuff in life. And I'm just, you know, but everybody has their own pain and our own, like that my flavor of pain then allowed me to appreciate the flavor of pleasure so much more. And so that, yeah, spring was like beginning to feel those things again and beginning to feel kind of like little spurts of like creative energy that I was like, I didn't know if I would ever like feel like taking pictures again, or, you know, feel like I began to like develop a new sense of style and feel connected to what I was wearing and feel like I could connect with people more, because like the way I am now, like speaking with you, and like I've just been thinking these days, like I'm so grateful for feeling curious and like having the kind of like energy to ask questions. And I've just been like learning so many cool things about everyone that I've like been with here. And that is like, I feel like that's kind of like the feeling of summer. It was like high energy, like exploration and expansion and yeah. Yes, so when I say here and, you know, the people that I've been talking to and the experiences that I've been having here that I've been enjoying, I'm in Sedona speaking with you. And I flew out because you told me about a friend of yours who's building an off-grid community a couple hours away. And it's something that I've been curious about and feeling drawn to for a while, is exploring more primal ways of living, is how I like to describe it. And I'm just recently feeling like ready to like actually try it. And I spent a little over a weekend there, helping out mainly with the cooking for the crew that's building these beautiful domes and arches in this like desert landscape full of juniper trees and beautiful hills, and like it just felt like this whole experience of being here in Sedona and out there has felt, as I described to my friend, both magical and natural at the same time. Like it just has felt so good. And yeah. I mean, maybe it started like even back when I was first having these kind of existential questions of like, well, why do I feel like there's something missing or there's something flat and empty about my life, even though I have everything, like I have all the comforts of the modern world, and, you know, I have, yeah, like it feels like I have everything. Why do I feel kind of empty? And that got me thinking a bit about the way that the modern life and the way that, you know, at least, you know, my life was, because not everybody in the modern world like has all the amenities and comforts and everything, but that the way that humans evolved was in a totally different environment. And so like I feel like it makes total sense that we're having so many of these quote unquote issues, like depression, anxiety, you know, all these like health things that are very much like, you know, they call them modern diseases. And so I think I've been thinking about that for a while, both in the, through the lens of like what kind of feels like feeling like a bit repulsed by the modern way of life and doing things because of these you know elements, but also feeling this like attraction to like just living more like an early human, which kind of feels just like it would feel more natural. And when I was in my, like some of my most depressed kind of gray years, when I had a brief stint in college, it was also during COVID. So I decided to take the second semester of the year off rather than go online. And people were talking about WWOOFing, which stands for Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms. And you can volunteer almost anywhere in the world, and have free food and lodging, and, you know, help people on their, usually it's like farms. And so that was kind of my first like, oh yeah, like maybe I mean, basically I was in the state of wondering, like, what does a person do who doesn't want to do anything? And so my thought was like, well, maybe I'll just marry a farmer, have his babies, and like the farm labor and the instinctual, you know, drive to mother will like keep me going. And while I was woofing, like I really enjoyed it actually. And I do think that it mitigated a lot of the depressive symptoms because I was just in this like, you know, wake up, like the farmer's like, okay, here's the plan, you know, a lot of it's just weeding. And I realized like, I like menial labor. Like you know, I also love like thinking and, you know, being in the very heady, abstract world. But I think that for me, it feels best to have it balanced out by like earthiness. So like while I'm weeding, like my mind is wandering. And so, yeah. What advice do I have for people who haven't found their purpose? Well, I mean, I guess, first of all, I, like, for me, you already are living your purpose. Like, you exist. And that, like, that's, I don't want to say, like, that's all, you know? But, like, it doesn't need to be like anything more than that. Like that's beautiful, and I'm so happy that you exist. When I am around someone who feels like they're like really like doing whatever, living, feels like they're living their purpose, it affects me in the way of on the one hand, like kind of opening a window like into what is possible. Like, oh wow, you know, like your friend is like building her dream of like living off grid in a, you know, in a community, and or like, oh wow, like, you know, this, yeah, so like it's like opening up, you know, a world of possibility, whether it's something that I like, it doesn't have to be something that I like want to actually join in on or you know, to be a part of, but that, and then also like I think when you feel like you're living your purpose, there's a sense of joy and flow, or there's just some energy that radiates out, and it's like absorbed, or you know, it passes through whoever's around you. And so I definitely have like felt that kind of infectious like radiating joy and energy coming from people who are like feel like they're living their purpose. And so yeah, I guess that that would probably be true for me too. I think a majority of people that exist are existing, and so for me, they are already living their purpose. And yeah, I think like I feel like there can be a sense of like, oh, if I'm not like feeling like totally in flow, or I'm not feeling like I'm living my purpose, like I need to find it, or like I need to be doing something else, or like I need to get out of my thinking head and just like be. But for me, I like to just tune into whatever is. So that includes the like, oh yeah, like what does it feel like to feel like I'm out of flow? Like what does it feel like to feel like I'm, you know, maybe like trying to be someone that I don't actually feel like, and to be curious about that experience. And like, you know, this is kind of like in the vein of meditation, like to notice with a neutral curiosity or a sense of non-judgment whatever it is that you're experiencing, or that I'm experiencing. And I think kind of like, ironically is not the right word, but like, funnily enough, when you tune into and allow yourself to feel and notice, when you're not feeling like you're living your purpose, and just like feel what that feels like, just as kind of like neutral sensations. Like you can even think of thoughts as sensations, like thought sensations, you know, audio sensations, visual sensations. You can think of it however you want. It doesn't have to be sensations, but I just enjoy that. When you tune into whatever is there, like I feel like in my experience, it tends to lead into this feeling of like beingness. And again, I don't like, beingness is everything, but there is kind of like, for me, times when I feel more like, yeah, just like in flow and in beingness, and in feeling like one with my purpose and everything. So yeah, I don't know what the world would look like if everybody were like doing that, but that's like asking what the world would look like if everyone were me. And I think that everyone's purpose is just to be doing exactly what they're doing, what they're being. And yeah, I think it's beautiful. It can be ugly. It can be pleasurable, painful. It all just is. Like, you can kind of manifest anything you want. And like, on a logical, philosophical level, I knew that was possible, because I know that everything and anything is possible, and is at the same time. But on an emotional level, it hadn't resonated with me until recently. But yeah, it's an exciting place to be.